Hello, hello. Have you guys been participating in the Ugly Art Club's 5-minute challenge? I am thoroughly enjoying it, and today is day 8, and the prompt for today is ambiguous. Now, I know what this means. I use it in conversation, but I didn't get any real ideas from it right away. Like some words you just think of something right off the bat. So sometimes I'll do different things. I'll Pinterest search. This time I went and I just looked up what the definition of ambiguous was. And a couple things then popped out to me. It means open to having several possible meanings or interpretations. It means lacking clearness or definiteness, obscure, indistinct, and ambiguous shape, things like that. So my idea then went to just kind of abstract. I wanted to do more of just an abstract spread that didn't necessarily come from any certain word or prompt, kind of like how I would create normally when I'm just working inside my art journal. When we looked back on my last 5-minute challenges, if you go back to the intro video where I did a flip through of the very first 5-minute challenge I did, all of those are more just abstract style spreads. And I wanted to do one kind of like that, where it didn't really have to follow any particular prompt, and yet at the same time, it kind of fit in with that ambiguous prompt for day number 8. So I started out here with some scribbles, with acrylic paint marker, with a Stabilo pencil, and then with my Quink ink, I did some fun little splatters. And now over top of it, I'm going to add in a bit of collage and just see where that takes me. So a lot of times I don't have a full idea of what that spread is going to look like. I want to build up those layers, let it come a bit naturally. But like in this one, I had kind of my color scheme picked out from the beginning. So that was enough to just inspire me with where I wanted to take this. And I knew I wanted to do kind of that organic circle shape in the beginning. So once I have like 1 or 2 pieces of what I'm doing figured out, I then like to take it and just see where that inspiration goes. One thing often leads to another, and then that's where the true creativity can really flow, for me at least. So you have to find what's going to work best for you. If it's too planned out, I often find that if something, even a little thing, then goes wrong, it totally derails me and gets me off track, versus if I just have like 1 or 2 things that are like basic ideas that are kind of more general, I feel like I'm more free to do whatever comes. So another part of that is having things within eyesight that I can work on. For me, I'm very much out of sight, out of mind. And I think a lot of artists are like this too. And that's why oftentimes our studio is a disaster. It's a mess because we want to be able to see everything. One of my solutions inside my studio is I like to have open shelving wherever I can. I know it's not as pretty as different cabinets and things like that, but for me, I can see more what's in my stash, and then things don't go unused. I checked my time there. I'm doing pretty good, which is surprising. And I think maybe because I really just let it flow and see where it took me for this one, which was a fun difference to take. I'm going to try to fit in as much as possible within these 5 minutes. So instead of doing the stitching, I decided just to get my stapler out. Plus, it's kind of fun to do the stapler because it's a different texture that you're bringing into it. And if I already have some fabric on the page, it's fun to bring in like that metal look as well. Adding a little bit more art marks, adding in that white gesso. I like how it gives it that kind of ghostly, see-through, transparent appearance where you can still see what's going on below, but it's I like the look of it better. I think it is really fun to kind of have things be peeking through then from behind the gesso. Added in a few little fingerprints there just to bring attention even more to where that tab is. And I think this might be the first one that I am completely done within the 5 minutes. So a round of applause for me. That doesn't happen often. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the complimentary spread that I've been making. This is not something necessarily along with the challenge, but it's a personal challenge for myself of creating that first spread and then seeing if I can make kind of a simpler spread that can go along with it. So often when I'm working inside of a journal and I'm working on the left and the right side at one time. And for me, that's just my personal preference as far as working, because I want things to look cohesive. I want when you flip to that page, it's like one big spread rather than a left and a right side. And so doing it separate like this, I still want it to be very cohesive. I'll still be putting these together in a journal format at the end, and I'll make sure to make a video on how I put that all together. So stay tuned for the end of the challenge where I will show you guys that. But the fun part about this is it really then challenges me. Can I take what I did on the first part and somehow make it cohesive with another spread? In no way am I trying to exactly copy it. I'm not trying to reproduce it, but can I take some elements from the first one and bring it into the second one and make them kind of a marriage of sorts, looking together and bringing some of those elements back in. So personally for me, it's a really fun challenge to do that and a different way of working, because I can honestly say when I start the first one, I'm not thinking about the second one at all. And that's not normal for me. Normally, I like to think about all of the different possibilities and plan for the contingencies, all of that. And so this is a great thing for me and for my art practice right now. So if that sounds interesting to you, you may want to experiment with something like that. As always, the supplies that I use are listed down below. Please feel free to ask any questions, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.